Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a get ready with me. It's going to be a voiceover. I wanted to do a chit chat get ready with me. I will save that for maybe the next one. But yeah, I have a get ready with me today on the chocolate gold eyeshadow palette, which I love so much. It's upside down. As well as one of the Inglot pigments that is one of my absolute favorites. So I figured, why not add sparkle to sparkle and do a super sparkly look for this first week of the new year, because I'm just, as you know, all about sparkle. So leave a little sparkle wherever you go. All right, guys, if you want to see how I came up with this look, then just keep on watching. Okay, guys, so first things first, got to have some coffee. Isn't this the cutest cup of life? It's a Mary Poppins cup, and it's from Disney World. You can also find it at the Disney store. But coffee first. All right, let's get started. First of all, we're going to go in with the Marc Jacobs Coconut Face Primer. This one's really good for wintertime because it's very moisturizing, almost to the point where it leaves a little bit of a, again, I've said this in the past, kind of a greasy feel, but it really isn't. It's been perfect for my dry skin. Next, I'm going in with the Hourglass Stick Foundation in the shade Shell. Been trying to use more I guess not as matte foundations, just because it has been really cold and my skin again has been so dry. So I'm trying to use my foundations that aren't kind of a matte finish. I'm going to use this foundation brush by Pure Cosmetics. I picked it up at Ulta and it has become my very favorite foundation brush of all time. It's dense, and so it just blends the foundation in perfectly. It doesn't leave any little patches or anything. It's been great. I love it. Next, we're going to go in with concealer. This is the Born This Way concealer by Too Faced, and I am in the shade Light Medium. Just find that this is the perfect shade for me. It's not too light. And then I'm going to take a Sigma 3D Kabuki brush. I have found that this is the brush that works best for me to apply concealer. Kind of gets in all those little crevices. All right, I am going to start with brows and using the Goof Proof by Benefit in shade number 5. Brush it out with the spoolie and then go in with the pencil. I'm not really going to put too much of this on camera because I got to get up close and personal with the mirror in order to be a little bit precise. Okay, brows are done. Looking good, if I do say so myself. I didn't mean for that to sound vain. I got to go in with my Clarins Instant Comfort Lip Oil because just like my skin has been dry, my lips have been even more dry than my skin. Not crusty, flaky, just super shrivelly, tight, very uncomfortable. This gives them the moisture that they need. Going in with my eye primer, this is the Maybelline Master Prime. I love this stuff. This stuff is so good, and as you're going to be able to tell, I am pretty much out. After this video, I tossed it. I need to go buy a new one. This stuff has been so great, and it has officially replaced my top spot for favorite eye primer from a high-end primer. So thumbs up for that, for paying $5 for a primer instead of $20 or $25. Okay, gotta have another sip of coffee. And then we can move on to the next thing. The Too Faced Chocolate Gold Eyeshadow Palette this has quickly become one of my favorite palettes. This is just, it goes on beautifully, lasts, the pigmentation is wonderful. So I am gonna go in with the shade So Bougie. I feel like that is my theme. My husband loves to say that his wife is bad and bougie, says that all the time. So we're going to go ahead and blend that into the crease, and that's going to be our transition shade. Going in with a flat shader brush, this is a MAC brush. I'm going to go in with the dark shade called Holla for a Dollar. And I think I just find these eyeshadow names so amusing. I'm going to go in to the outer portion of the lid and pack this color on. Then I'm going to take it to the inner portion of the lid and pack it on. And then I'm going to connect the two at the top for kind of a halo effect. So just build it up the way you want. I ended up building it up quite a bit because you do need a few layers in order to get the intensity that you probably need for this look. So the ever advocate for the Too Faced glitter glue, or just glitter glue in general, I'm taking very, very little, just a little drop, I guess you could say. Just pat it on. Doesn't have to be super neat, just kind of all over the little middle area of your lid. And then the Inglot Pigment in number 119. You don't have to use this. Anything that you have that may be sparkly and stand out will do. I wanted to use this just because it is just a real kick of sparkle, and I hadn't used it in a while. What I like about Inglot pigments is that they're very affordable, so I got this one at Macy's. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my flat shader brush and kind of dip it into the jar, and it's loose pigment, so you're going to have to pack it onto the brush. So what I do is I pack it on using the lid of the product, the lid of the jar, and that works out really, really well. It just packs it into the brush. Then I just start patting it on to the middle of the lid onto that glitter glue, not sweeping motions, but patting motions. I'm just going to do the same for the other eye. Okay, so we've got our shades on the lid. You kind of need shades to look at those lids. Oh my goodness, so much sparkle on there, but I love sparkle, so I am packing it on. Next I'm going to take a little, it's almost like a kind of a buffing brush, because I'm going to put some color on the lower lash line, and in this case I am going to use the shade Old Money. It's kind of that copper shade, and I wanted a shade that would kind of stand out, that would be different from what was on top. So kind of taking something a little bit darker than that middle shade that's on the lid, or the shade that's on the center of the lid, I guess I should say. I wear contact lenses, and oh my gosh, sometimes when I do the lower lash line, the powder gets in my eyes. It's so uncomfortable. Next, I'm going to take the shade Rich Girl. This is probably one of my favorites of the eyeshadow palette. And I'm laughing because I can never get it right when I look in the viewfinder. I always go the opposite direction. All right, so I wet my brush with the Mario Badescu spray to kind of intensify the foiled look, and I just placed that in my inner corner. Next, I'm taking a black liner. This is a kohl liner by YSL. I think it came in a perfume set some time back, and I'm just going to line my waterline. Just don't pull on your eye to do your waterline, just gently. You know, you got to be gentle. Next, I'm taking a Too Faced pencil, and I am going to tight line. I always have to be really careful when I do this, because if I'm not, I end up smudging some of the eyeliner onto my contact lens, and I end up having to take it out, rinse it, blah, 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 and it becomes such an ordeal. So I just usually try to go super careful, but tight lining just really pulled everything together. So now we're going to go in with some mascara, as usual, using the Marc Jacobs Velvet Noir. I'm going to speed through this because, well, it's just boring mascara. And then I am going to, well, as you can tell, I already popped my lashes on. That takes a while, so I just don't even do it on camera. Next, I'm going to bronze and contour using the Tarte Park Avenue Princess palette. This is a beautiful palette. The packaging is amazing, and I do really love the product inside. I'm going to take a Tarte, kind of like a, I forget what this brush is called, but it's what I use for contour. It's what works best for me. Going in with the shade Carrot. It's kind of almost like a gray toned type contour shade. And I am going to contour as best I can. Again, I've told you in the past, I'm not super skilled at contouring, but I do what I can, try to make it work. And then I'm going to take the shade Angle, and I am going to use this shade. This is more of a, I don't know if terracotta is the word, but it's what I'm going to use to bronze, and I am using that same brush. So as you could tell, I was trying to dust off the shade, the powder, the excess powder that was on there from the contour shade. And next I'm going to take the Benefit What's Up Cream Highlight, because you well know that I love to layer my highlight for that extra pop, extra shine. So I warm it up in my hand, on my hand. That's why I rubbed it on my hand. And then I take it onto my cheek, trying not to disturb my foundation. You don't want to go too hard. And then I take what I rubbed off on my hand and I use that to blend it in without using a brush. Next, I am using the Hourglass blush, one of the Hourglass blush palettes. I love these palettes. You can tell I love this palette. It really is great. It's got the pigmentation and it just goes on so naturally, so beautifully. Taking a Sephora blush brush. I forget, this is one of those Airbrush Pro brushes, I think. Anyways, I'm going in with the first shade. It's called Luminous Flush. I think they're going to be coming out with another one of these blush palettes this spring. Don't quote me on that, but I want to say I saw kind of a sneak peek thingy. I don't know for sure. But next, the highlight that we're going to layer on top of that Benefit cream is the Bobbi Brown Afternoon Glow. I thought this was limited edition. I actually saw it in my Sephora store the other day as a Sephora exclusive, so you can actually still pick this up at your local Sephora. This shade is beautiful, by the way. It's one of my favorite Bobbi Browns, probably my favorite Bobbi Brown highlight. Obviously, I'm very pleased with it. And then just a little bit on my nose and then the Cupid's bow. Not that that lasts very long, because once your lipstick starts to fade, I feel like the Cupid's bow highlight just starts to fade too. Okay, now the decision of which lipstick to choose. There's just so much to choose from. Should I go nude? Should I go red? Should I go kind of wine and vampy? And I think I decided that well, I'm going to give it away, but the dark shade is the one we're going to go with. And it is by Lorac. I amuse myself very easily, I guess. And this shade is in the shade Provacateur. Came in a set, I want to say, not this holiday season, but the one before that, maybe? I feel like it did come in a set. I just don't remember when. And this is the finished look. I hope this was easy enough for you guys. Hopefully quick. I don't do a whole lot of complex looks, but a whole lot of sparkle on sparkle for you. Thanks guys for watching. Okay guys, that wraps up our Get Ready With Me for today using the Chocolate Gold Eyeshadow Palette by Too Faced and of course, as you saw, the Inglot Pigment in number 119, one of my absolute favorite things in my makeup collection. I hope you found this enjoyable, entertaining, and hopefully helpful. It's always my goal to do simple Get Ready With Me's just because I myself don't go into super complicated stuff when I do my makeup on my own, and so I just want to relay to you that something can look really, really nice without being extra complicated. It can be quick and easy, not too bad. I hope you found this helpful. Before I let you go, I need to give you the verse of the day. Today's comes from Revelation 21:4, and it says, God will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain, for the old order of things has passed away. I hope you take comfort in that. I hope you find encouragement in that. Guys, I hope you've had a wonderful first week of the year. It was actually a very good week for me, kind of just a good week at work, a good week just in general, starting the year off right. So I hope the same for you. It is my prayer that you all have a wonderful 2018. Thank you so much for watching. I hope, I don't say this very often, but I do hope you'll consider subscribing if you're new to my channel. You can find me at Michelle's Glamour if you're looking for me on Instagram, and I will see y'all very soon in the next video. Take care. Bye.